Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second quarter. I'm your co-host, Dalton Carty.
I'm your other co-host, Jacob Eichenlaw.
And today we're going to be talking about our predictions for Week 15. So starting off with the Thursday night game, Chiefs at the Chargers. Big game, division game. Really going to decide who's going to take this division. I have the Chiefs winning 31-27. I also have them covering the plus 3.5 spread. And all these spreads are brought to you by Fox Sports. We're not sponsored, should be, but they're brought to you by Fox Sports. So
Hit us up, Barstool. But it's going to be a great game. It's in LA. And I think that's what's going to make me pick the Chargers. I know Chargers fans really don't show out in LA because they kind of fucking hate it because they were in San Diego. And, you got the Padres and the Dodgers and they kind of hate each other. So that kind of makes sense to me. But I'm going with the Chargers, 35-31.
Alrighty. Moving on to the 1 o'clock games in the early window.
Actually, we have two Saturday
games. That's right. That is right. So the 4:30 Saturday game, Raiders versus the Browns. I have the Browns covering the negative 6.5 spread. I think they're going to win 31-14 over the Raiders, especially with it being in Cleveland and Raiders coming off a devastating loss. It's really just going to be tough for them to come back. And, obviously playing with all the issues that they have going on in their franchise right now, I think Cleveland's really going to take off with this one. And Chubb's healthy for this game, so it should be good.
I got the Raiders covering and winning 24-23.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I got the Raiders.
Is that calling for an upset?
Yeah, I am calling for an upset on that one.
Moving on to the late night Saturday night game, Patriots versus Colts, where I have the Colts winning 24-20 and covering the negative 2 spread. They're the favorites for this, surprisingly.
Well, once again, I have the Patriots covering and winning 24-21.
So similar scores, but I think it's going to be a defensive
We have had
slugfest.
different results in every single game we've picked so far.
So
I feel like
I really think that the Colts are going to pull through. It's going to be a defensive battle. You can't really count out Bill Belichick, though.
No.
I think, but Jonathan Taylor just being so good. Bill Belichick that defense is good at stopping the run, though.
Yes, it is.
Carson Wentz is going to show up.
I think that game really does come down to how Carson Wentz plays.
Yeah,
and how much pressure they get on him when they do decide to pass.
Matthew Judon and Kyle Van Noy are going to play big parts in that game, along with the Patriots run game and Ramondre
Stevenson, Damian Harris, and you can't forget about J.C. Jackson in the cornerback spot. Dude, he's crazy.
Yep. So moving on to the early window on the Sunday games, Washington football team at Philadelphia against the Eagles. I actually have the football team covering the spread of the +5. Eagles are going to win this game, though, 28-24.
I also have the football team covering the spread, but I have them winning.
Oh, my goodness. So we're definitely on different levels here so far.
I got the football team 24-13.
Oh, so a big win.
Yeah, 11 points.
Two-score game. I'm calling for a one-score game again, 28-24 Eagles. I feel like with it being in Philadelphia is a tough place to go and play. Gardner Minshew or Jalen Hurts? I mean, you take your pick. Both of them are going to get the job done.
I would be worried. I would be worried about my pick if Gardner Minshew is starting, but Jalen Hurts really isn't that good.
Yeah, if it's Jalen Hurts, you might lean football team.
If Jalen Hurts cannot run the ball, he sucks. He's ass.
Moving on to another early window game, Cowboys versus Giants. I have the Cowboys covering the negative 10.5 spread, winning 34-10 against the Giants.
I also have them covering the spread. I got them with a 30-17 win.
Oh my goodness. So this is the first one we finally
agreed on one.
I think with Dak Prescott, they've had a couple close games in recent memory, and they're really just going to try to prove themselves and prove that they're a better team. And the Giants aren't really playing the best football.
It's not hard to prove you're a better team than the Giants.
Yeah, Giants are having a rough go at it. Not sure if Daniel Jones or Mike Glenn's going to be starting for this game, though.
Saw a video of Mike Glennon. That dude is just so awkward. He's like 6'7", but like half a foot of that's his neck.
He's like a giant.
Dude is just crazy. And I saw a video on TikTok. Some dude was recording him, and he was so fucking scared. Like Mike Glennon was freaked out. Like, what the fuck is this dude recording me? I think he forgot he was a football player.
He forgot he was an NFL quarterback. Moving on to the next game, Jets versus Dolphins. For the third week in a row, I'm going to pick the Jets to cover the spread. They failed me on 2 occasions. I think third time's the charm. I got them covering the plus 8.5 spread against the 6-7 Miami Dolphins. I think the Miami Dolphins are going to win this game 17-14, especially with it being in Miami. Jets got nothing to lose here. I mean, I think they're going to have a game. I think they're going to make it a game.
I agree on some parts of that. I got the Dolphins covering the spread, though, but I do think the Dolphins are going to win like you do. Mm-hmm. But my score is 31-13.
You're calling for a lot of big games.
Yes, I am.
High-scoring games.
Yes, I am. You're going to be surprised at what my highest scoring game is. Whenever we get to it, you're going to be surprised what game that is.
I think I got a feeling of which one it's going to be. So moving on to the Cardinals versus the Lions. This is my lock of the week.
45-13.
Cardinals are going to take this 38-17. I think Lions will probably get a few late scores just to make it look respectable. Cardinals cover the negative 13.5 spread. My lock of the week.
45-13.
Seal it, lock it, sign my name in blood, put my house, my car, my college tuition, putting every cent I got on the Cardinals this week.
And believe it or not, if you add up the points from all my games, that is still not the most high-scoring one.
Oh, my goodness. So then again, moving on to the next game, Texans versus Jags.
That's my high-scoring game.
This is going to be the worst game of the week, in my opinion.
I have Jacksonville, 31-30.
Really?
Yes.
High-scoring game. I'm calling for a low-scoring game, 14-13. Texans take the win, also cover the +3 spread. I think with a lot of the internal issues going on with the Jaguars right now, especially with head coach Urban Meyer and the players and no run game with Jackson Robinson and choosing Carlos Hyde over... James Robinson, choosing Carlos Hyde over James Robinson simply just because he went to Ohio State. A lot of issues in that locker room, and I just don't see it being a huge scoring game.
I think I could kick Urban Meyer's ass.
Probably so. He's in his 50s. I would hope so. Moving on into the next game, Patriots versus Bills. Another one of my locks of the week. This one's my probably high. I believe this one is my highest scoring game or second highest scoring game. 13-41. Bills are going to take it at home against the Panthers. Bills covering the negative 10.5 spread. Coming off a loss against the Buccaneers, which is a really good team, and playing a bad team in Carolina who can't make up their mind and who they want to play quarterback. And you got a coach on the hot seat. Again, a lot of more internal locker room issues. I think the Bills are a lot better football team. Sean McDermott's a lot tougher coach. They're going to go in there and win this game.
See, I also agree with the fact that the Bills are going to win and cover the spread. I got them 31-10, but Sean McDermott is not a tough coach.
He's a tough coach.
No, he's fucking not.
He's a tough coach.
No, he's not.
How's he not?
Because whenever they played the Patriots, he just completely discredited everything Bill Belichick did to beat him. He's like, no.
He's a tough coach.
He just disagreed with everything.
The Buffalo Bills are a tough football team.
He got out-coached and he wasn't okay with it.
I'm not disagreeing that he got out-coached. I'm saying he's a tough coach.
Yeah, and then the defense, this is what I thought was funny about that Patriots-Bills game a couple weeks ago. The defense, a reporter asked him, how do you guys feel about only giving up 14 points? How do you feel about your defensive performance against the Patriots? And he's like, we only gave up 14 points.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
But you fucking lost, though.
Embarrassing loss.
Your offense scored 10.
200 rush yards, and they're running the ball every time. So that definitely was embarrassing. But Sean McDermott is a tough coach. The Bills are a tough football team. No. Moving on to the next game, Titans versus Steelers. I have Titans pulling it out, 21-20, but the Steelers covering the +2 spread.
I got the Titans covering the -2 spread, but it's still a close game, 21-17 Titans.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of differences this week. I feel like
it's gonna be. I feel like that was our closest one, though.
That'll probably be our closest, absolutely. So I do have the Titans winning going into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off of a tough loss against the Vikings. Chase Claypool antics. Missing Juju Smith-Schuster. Najee Harris is really starting to take off. He's also in contention for Offensive Rookie of the Year, I believe.
I don't think he's going to win it, but...
But the Titans' pass rush is really good, and Big Ben's not mobile. I don't think Big Ben's going to have a lot of time to throw to his receivers.
He's not mobile, but he is a tank. It's hard to get him down.
It is indeed hard to get him down. But I think the Titans, with getting Julio and A.J. Brown this week, that they'll overcome Pittsburgh. Falcons versus the 49ers here in the 4:25 window. I think it's going to be the 49ers winning 28-14 at home, and they'll cover the negative 10.5 spread, which is actually a pretty big spread for the 49ers. This is
our closest game. I have the Niners 27-14. 1 point off.
Interesting. So you also have them covering the negative 10.5 spread.
Yes, I do.
I feel like negative 10.5 is a really big margin for the 49ers.
Like it definitely is too.
They're both pretty similar in record. I get that the 49ers have been playing red hot as of recent, and George Kittle's really taken off. But that is a wide margin.
I do not think the 49ers are 10.5 points better than the Falcons most days.
Yeah.
But this Sunday, I think they are.
Absolutely. Moving on again to another late window. Bengals versus Broncos. I have the Broncos winning 27-13 in the Mile High City, covering the negative 1.5 spread. it's Mile High. Tough place to play. They're coming off the loss of Demaryius Thomas. I mean, they got emotion, adrenaline running. Joe Burrow's taken the most sack yards in the NFL. He's also, I believe, if he has not thrown the most picks, he's tied for the most picks.
I want it to be known that I made this pick before the passing of Demaryius Thomas, but I'm going to stick with it. I got the Bengals 28-17.
So you have them on the
No,
plus
not,
one.
no, 28-27, my fault, not 17.
So you still have the Broncos with the spread.
No, because the Bengals are going to cover.
28-27.
Yeah, but the Broncos are -1.5. So the Bengals would cover it if they won.
Oh,
It'd be
yeah.
plus
I
1.5 for the
kept
Bengals.
thinking that the Broncos were plus 1.5. Yeah, you're right. My mistake. So, yeah, but I think it's going to be tough to go in there and win against Mile High. Bengals are fighting for a playoff spot, so are the Broncos. It's going to be a really tough physical football game. Noah Fant, Cortland Sutton are going to be in for this one. And then Teddy Bridgewater actually hasn't played bad in the last 2 weeks. I know he had 2 picks 2 weeks ago, but he had 2 touchdowns this week. So I think the Broncos will pull that one out. This one's actually my game of the week. It's going to be the Packers versus the Ravens in Baltimore. I get the Packers pulling it out 35-33, and then the Ravens covering the plus 5.5, which is a big margin for being at home and being a good football team. Lamar Jackson is still questionable for that game, though.
See, that's my thing. If Lamar Jackson plays, I still think Green Bay wins, but only by a couple, like maybe 1 score. But if Lamar is out, I got the Packers by multiple scores, 2 or 3 at minimum.
Yep. So really, you just got to hold out to see if Lamar Jackson's going to play to cast your bet. If Lamar Jackson's playing, bet on the Ravens. If he's not, bet on the Packers.
At least spread-wise, I still think the Packers are winning regardless. No matter who plays the quarterback for the Ravens, take the money line for the Packers.
Moving on to next week, Seahawks versus Rams. Rams by a wide margin, 37-14 in Los Angeles, covering the -7.
I actually have the Rams 21-17, so I got the Seahawks covering the +7 spread.
Well, yeah, Seahawks are fighting for a playoff spot.
It's also a divisional matchup. You know the Seahawks are going to try and show out for that one.
Yep, absolutely. I think Rams really need this one to really kind of keep them in contention for that number 1 spot, because the Cardinals, again, have
still 2 games.
Just about a guaranteed win, though.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next game. Saints versus Buccaneers. I have the Buccaneers covering the -11 spread here. 34-21 is going to be my prediction for the Buccaneers, especially playing at home against the Saints, who are kind of beat up. You don't know if it's going to be Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian. Kamara, I believe, is still kind of questionable to play.
Yeah, I also have the Buccaneers covering -11. I got them 38-17. And I don't think there's really much you can say about the Saints that makes me think that they're going to even cover the spread or come close to covering the spread.
Exactly, yeah. But you never know. I mean, they did beat them earlier this year with Trevor Siemian.
That's true.
When Jameis Winston went down.
But Jameis Winston did play that game. It's hard to adjust to a different quarterback mid-game.
Exactly, yeah. So, well, maybe they could use Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill kind of like that. And see if they could sweep
kind of like a college offense. You got a running quarterback and like a throwing quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And then moving on to the Monday night game, Vikings versus Bears. I'm calling for a Bears upset. I know they're only +3.5, but I feel like a lot of people are going to count out the Bears this game, especially with either Justin Fields or Andy Dalton's plays. I still got the Bears covering the spread. I think it's going to be a 27-24 win for the Bears, especially because they're playing at home. That's a big thing, and it's a primetime game. Kirk Cousins doesn't play well in primetime, despite last week, and they got a long week.
He threw 2 picks last week.
Yeah, the Vikings they're going to have a long week, so it could kind of take them out of football form.
I do have the Vikings winning, but I was torn all week on making this decision. It's Kirk Cousins in prime time, but it's the Bears.
Yeah.
This should not be a Monday night football game, but I am going to take the Vikings to win 24-20 and cover the -3.5.
Yep, I do have the Bears just because, I mean, it's Kirk Cousins on prime time. Vikings are going to have a long week, whether Andy Dalton or Justin Fields starts. I feel like they're pretty similar in their abilities. I have the Bears covering that +3.5 and upsetting. So I think that's going to cover it for this episode. Tune in next. We're going to talk about head coaches and whether or not you should keep them.
Yep, we're going to talk about just mainly the ones on the hot seat. We're not going all coaches, obviously, because Bill Belichick's kind of a stupid one.
He's gone.
Fuck him.
Can't win after this year.
No, but for real. Just coaches like Urban Meyer and Mike Zimmer and Matt Rule and stuff like that. So we'll see you in the next episode.
Alrighty.